Hello everyone, it's Becca from Becca Books and Bujo, and today we are talking through all of the books I read in November. I read quite a few things in November, 11 to be exact. Here are the stats of everything that I read as far as format, genre, star rating. My average star rating was a 4.05, which is pretty dang good. And yeah, it just felt like a new reading month for me. I have been kind of in a rut since August, since Deck of TBR-a-thon. So it felt great to be reading good things again and enjoying myself a little bit more since that terrible slump of like 3 months. Anyway, most of these books I've actually talked about already because they were either self-destruct or for a vlog, so I'm not really going to talk about them much. But I'll give you just a brief synopsis and why I rated it what I did. The first two I'm actually not going to talk about at all. Ha, psych! They are books that I am reading for the Goodreads Choice Awards nominees vlog. I know that the winners have already been announced, but I'm still trying to read as many as I can before that video comes out. So I read When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker, which was nominated in the Romantasy category, and I read The Pairing by Casey McQuiston, which was nominated in the Romance category. Again, not going to tell you my thoughts. You'll just have to wait for that vlog, which is coming out in about 2 weeks. I'm just going in order of this stack that I randomly placed here. I read All In by Simona Arnstedt. This is actually a book in translation from Sweden, and I really enjoyed this. It was a suspenseful romance. There's a lot of very rich people involved, so those rich people problems I maybe didn't quite understand as much, but I still liked the romance, and there were high stakes and risk involved, and I enjoyed it. This was in my self-destruct TBR for the year. I got it done before the end of November, and I gave it 4 stars. Another book that was on my self-destruct TBR was The Lovely Bones by Alice Sebold. I couldn't let this one slip through the cracks just because I felt like it is so well known. This is a mystery about a girl who is killed right away at the beginning, and we follow her in her afterlife as she watches over the people in her life, including her murderer. So it's very interesting, but like not super exciting, I guess. So I gave it 3.5 stars, but glad I actually read it. And the last of those self-destruct books, I have Incidents in the Life of a Slave Girl by Harriet A. Jacobs. This is her memoir. She was a slave in the United States, particularly in Virginia, I believe, and it is about her life through slavery and also after slavery in her time of freedom. Very, very powerful, amazing stories to hear from a woman's perspective, and yeah, really glad I read this one. I gave it 5 stars. I read Is Everyone Hanging Out Without Me and Other Concerns by Mindy Kaling. This is her first memoir that she put out quite a while ago. It was when she was a writer on The Office, so 2011. This was just fun, comical. I enjoyed my time with it. It wasn't anything spectacular, but still she had some references in here from like famous comedic moments in history that made me reminisce on those times when I remember watching those, and just put a smile on my face. So yeah, I enjoyed this. I read this for my Patreon book club, and hopefully we all got a laugh out of it. I read The Alice Network by Kate Quinn. This was phenomenal. I gave it 5 stars. I talk about it at length in my Read It or Not challenge, number 10, I believe. I drew this out of the jar and it was so perfect. I did say in that video that it was for my self-destruct TBR. I was wrong. This is on a different list, on a 5-star prediction list, and now you know, it was indeed a 5-star, but this is an amazing story about 2 women during World War I and World War II and how they come together to seek retribution for what happened to them during the wars. Super, super amazing story. I am always in awe of Kate Quinn's storytelling and the emotions she can portray in her work. The next 2 I talk about at length in my Gabrielle Zevin vlog, trying to decide if Gabrielle Zevin is a favorite author. I read Young Jane Young and The Storied Life of A.J. Fikry. Thought thoughts on these. This one was phenomenal. This one, not so much. But overall, I do enjoy Gabrielle Zevin's writing and look forward to what she has coming next. One I'm not really going to talk about at all, I read the Mina Lima version of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. This was just such a fun way to immerse myself in the world of Harry Potter. There is fun, like, things to do in this book, and it's just really, really creative and such a great way to experience the story once again. And lastly, I finished Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. This is the first in the Knock 'Em Out series. I am finding that I really, really love small town romances, and this one is one. This one follows a woman named Naomi who just left her fiance at the altar, and she needs to escape that situation. She goes to this small town to meet her twin sister to help her out, and doesn't necessarily find what she thinks. She is kind of out on her luck, stuck in this small town, and starts creating relationships with people in this small town. Really, really good. I loved it. Super steamy. If you're okay with that, then give it a try. But also, it just was like really big. I wasn't ever bored necessarily, but I think like the intro could have been a little shorter, and maybe a few less spicy scenes, but I didn't mind the spicy scenes either. Anyway, this one was really good. I'm definitely going to continue on in the series. I gave it 4 stars. Here's a stack of books I read in November. This is a lot of pages. I think it was 4,300 some pages. You saw that in my stats page, but that's a lot of reading, and I'm really, really happy with the books that I read this month. Let me know if you have read any of these books and what you thought of them. As always, it would be great to have some bookish conversation with you down below in the comments. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today, and I will see you in another video very soon. Bye.